Hey, this is Nerdy Texan Accountant, and I'm going to be doing a review on the comic Leave on the Light, issue 2. This is going to be an early review. It was given to me by the writer and creator of the comic, Bradley Golden. I've done issue 1 already. I did that 3 months ago, so now issue 2 is going to be coming out soon. So, I'll go over and try and make it, as spoiler free as possible, because I do want you to go buy this comic. And I'll talk about the good, the bad of it, and we'll continue from there. First off, the comic begins 8 months earlier, before the murders that were occurring in the first issue, and we're at the execution of the child murderer named Lacey. Lassie, Lassey. I hope it's pronounced Lacey. I am still very bad at names. But there's one noticeable difference that you can tell right on this page when comparing to the previous issue. The previous issue was in color. This one is in black and white with the sound effects and some of the narration bubbles, thought bubbles, well, squares, boxes, are colored. I don't know why they made the design choice, for this. If they wanted to keep it, in color, that probably would have been a lot better, because the first issue is in color, and then just changing to black and white kind of is a little bit weird to me. Just, I don't have a problem with black and white in comic books. I read, the Marvel Essentials, which are all in black and white of comics that they released years ago that were originally published in color. Same thing with DC's Showcase Presents. I read Eerie magazines, well, the Archives, which was a black and white magazine back in the 60s and 70s. Same thing with Creepy. I also watch black and white TV shows, movies, so it being black and white doesn't matter. But it just seems a little bit off when it's not consistent. You have color, then all of a sudden you're black and white. But that doesn't mean the art is bad. The execution scene here, I don't think you would be able to do as good as this was in color. And I truly do mean that. But there are some places where it is, well, looks like you can just add color to it and it would probably make it look better. So the black and white is just there in some places, and it's just, very much void with little shade, not as much shading as there should be. But when it has it like this is when it's really good in black and white. Well, to get back to the story, the execution messes up for some strange reason, and so it was very peculiar then. And Detective Gary Marshall decides to go back and investigate the execution. We also have Detective Sarah McKinley, I believe that's it. Sarah McKinney. Again, I'm terrible with names. The scene at the end where she's in the bathroom with the cliffhanger ending, very good tension there. We go back to her, nothing happens to her, and then she goes on to continue with her side of the investigation. While Detective Gary Marshall is at the doctor's office and the prison, they learn that the murderer was into the occult stuff, you can see here, and then it goes back to Sarah phoning in that a murder homicide had occurred, and the killer is right behind her. But that's not the only tension that we leave on, because Detective Marshall is also having to deal with things. This is actually a very good comic, and I'm actually quite interested to see where the story is going. Before I said I think it is supernatural with, some possibility that it's not going to actually be, because they've done stuff like this before where it's a twist. It's like, oh, you think it's supernatural, but it's not. And I'm kind of 80% thinking, okay, it could be supernatural, and 20% saying that it's probably going to be a whole bunch of coincidences that leads up to a rational explanation at the end. Again, this is just me. I think the artwork is really good. It's just that change from color to black and white, which I'm actually not, that annoyed with. It just seems a little bit odd to me to be doing that. And it does do a good job leaving a cliffhanger with both characters, because before it was only with just Sarah. Now it's with both, and I like that. I hope that you do get this comic and you find this interesting. And I'll also have a link that you can click to watch the first video on issue 1. Hopefully you pick this up. Hopefully you will find that it's interesting to you, because I'm going to be getting it, even though I got a free preview of this. I'm still going to go out and buy it, because I got it for free. I want to support this creative team. I think it's worth buying, and I hope you too. Yep, you also think it's worth buying. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.